Yeah, and I'm guilty of it too, of selling something and rebuying it and selling it and rebuying it. I've done it too many times where now I'm telling myself, all right, when in doubt, do not sell. Just store it somewhere, hold on to it. But I'm guilty of selling stuff as well, and then regretting it, and then buying it back, and then selling it, and then buying it back. It's an addiction. I mean, they do call me the Michael Jordan of wrestling figure collecting. But yeah, it started off, just toys that I played with as a kid, and then as I got older and I stopped playing with them, I had to go back and, rebuy the LJNs because, like I said, mine were all chewed up, and I had to rebuy the Hasbros, even the Jacks, because they were all scuffed up from playing like you're supposed to do with them, play with them. So then I think once I started turning 18 and going to wrestling school, and I was more of an adult collector at that point.
As far as the Hasbros, do you have some favorite ones? Because that, I love the LJNs, but the Hasbros are probably my favorite. That was kind of like my bread and butter. You're right. I literally remember going into Toys R Us and looking and can I find the Bret Hart? Can I find this guy, that guy? Hasbro your favorite?
Yeah, I would say Hasbro or the Bone Crunchers are my favorite. And what's so cool about the Hasbro figures is that I've been fortunate enough to find a lot of the unreleased prototypes, figures that were in catalogs or ads, or figures that were never thought to exist, and I've got them in my collection now. So there's the Rhythm and Blues Greg the Hammer Valentine, or Tugboat, or Brutus Beefcake in the Mega Maniacs gear. So it's really cool that almost 30 years later, we're able to find these new but old figures. The other day, I got an LJN Killer Khan in the mail, unreleased. So it's crazy that there's definitely still more things out there.
Wow, that is unbelievable. How did you come across that? They sent it to you?
So I nowadays, I forget eBay, you're not going to find anything really good on eBay. You got to go into the Facebook groups, and it's more like an underground community of pre-production and prototype collectors. And about, I'd say a year ago, I found this ex-LJN employee who had a bunch of hand-painted LJN prototypes. I bought a couple things from him, but one of the things he had was an unpainted Killer Khan. It was the wax, before they even put it into the production process, before it's even resin, before it gets made into the rubber figures, and the leg was broken off, and the arm was broken off, and the fingers were all cracked off. So what he did was he got another ex-LJN employee to fix the figure, and they made 5 of them. So technically, it's a custom, but it's the closest I'm going to get to the real thing.
That is unbelievable. Never even seen that or heard of that. That's just unbelievable, man.
Yeah. So if you look at the major Wrestling Podcast Instagram and Twitter, I posted pictures this week, so it's up there.
Oh, good. I must have missed it. I got to check that out. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And that Greg Valentine, which I've obviously seen in your collection at Rhythm and Blues, that has got to be, at the top of the collection as one of the most valuable ones.
Yeah, 100%. Because, as a kid, this is before the internet, so you didn't know. Nowadays, the lineups months in advance. You see the pictures months in advance. You can even pre-order them from sites like Ringside Collectibles. But back in the day, you didn't know, until you walked into the store and you saw them. But in this case, there was a Toys R Us ad in the WWE magazine showcasing the new tag team set. It had Rockers, Demolition, Bushwhackers, and Rhythm and Blues. So as a kid, you go to Toys R Us and you see Rockers, you see Bushwhackers, you see Demolition, but Rhythm and Blues aren't there. And, at first you think, oh, they're just, sold out, they don't have them. And then, years later, you find out it was unreleased, it never came out. And to have that actual Greg from that actual ad is something incredible. And that's something I found on a Facebook group. That's not something that was put on eBay.
I love how deep you are digging into the Facebook groups, finding ex-employees. That's some dedication right there.
Yeah, I mean, because, there's stuff on eBay. Don't get me wrong, you can find some cool stuff on eBay, but I think the real the employees, they don't want to be publicly known. They want to, because if they put themselves out there, then everyone's going to hit them up, and annoy them and lowball them. So they only want to deal with serious collectors, and I don't blame them.
Now, tell me what you think about this trade. This was a trade, and I remember this so vividly, and it's crazy because we were 10 years old or whatever we were at this point. A friend of mine traded Hasbro Undertaker and Hasbro Doink, which are very rare, or not rare, very easy to get. You pretty much get them anywhere. Traded them for the very rare Nasty Boys Hasbro. Do you think that was a great trade on his part?
Ooh, well, the Nasty Boys are very tough. They were tough to get, I remember. Now, it really depends. Are we talking Undertaker number 1? Are we talking Undertaker number 2 with the jacket? Are we talking mail-away Taker? What are we talking?
No,
it really depends.
Yeah, good call, though. This is not the rare. This is the easy to find, no jacket Undertaker number 1.
I think it's a pretty fair trade. It really depends who you really wanted for your fig fed back in the day.
See, I told my friend that you really screwed that kid because he probably could have went to Toys R Us and just got Undertaker and Doink off the shelf, but it's really hard to find the Nasty Boys. I had a hard time finding the Nasty Boys too. I had KB Toys, Toys R Us, Childhood. You check every place, and they were one of the hardest guys to get.
Yeah, I remember finding the Nasty Boys, and it was very hard to get. Like them and LOD, I had a tough time getting.
Yes, LOD. So with the mail away, did you have the mail away Brett and the Undertaker and the mail away Hogan?
As a kid, I did not have them. I was a diehard fan, but I was a kid, so I couldn't buy every wrestling magazine I wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know about the mail away. So my parents would buy me the magazine every once in a while, and later on I had a subscription. But I must have missed that issue or those issues that had the mail away ad in it. So I didn't even know those were real. And now they go for so much money. I have them in my collection now, but my God, it's unbelievable. And especially because the Bret and the Undertaker are so similar to the major releases, and those are the most expensive one. You would think Hogan would be the most expensive because he's such a cool figure. But Hogan is the easiest one to get.